moved across the country to start a new life. What she didn't expect was for Mr. Billups to begin a double life. Today, on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Good morning.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Ronnie v. Billups.
Thank you very much. Miss Roney, Mr. Billups, pleasure to have you here in Divorce Court, and thank you all for joining us for today's case. Today, we are looking at a case where this relationship has been for 3 years. There's one daughter together. And you, ma'am, have 3 children from previous relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're making decisions for what your family is going to look like going forward. Am I correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Billups is here because I think you've asked some questions, some tough questions.
Tough.
Okay. Tell me why we're in court, Miss Roney.
Well, I'm here today because obviously I fell in love with a man, got out of my comfort zone, moved away, and got pregnant, and he started acting really sneaky.
Uh-oh. And when somebody starts acting sneaky, you start asking questions.
I started asking questions, don't want to go look, but I'm going to look and find it.
Mr. Billups, you heard what Miss Roney says. What do you say, sir?
You know, I'm here to defend my love for her and to keep my family strong.
Because you have a little person that you have to take care of.
Yes, ma'am.
And something tells me you want to try to have an intact family. Am I correct?
I absolutely do.
So let's see where this started and how we got to this point. Miss Roney, why don't you take me back? How did you all meet and what got us to divorce court?
Well, we met, I was on a birthday trip. Of course, a couple of my friends came, and he came as well. We didn't know we had mutual friends, so he was there. I mean, everything was cool. He was looking good, smelling good, and, you know, I was attracted to him. So one thing led to another. We got with each other and didn't leave since, and then we decided to move together. That's when we moved to L.A.
You moved from Texas to Los Angeles, and you all were starting your life together. Is that correct? Okay, so did you have a plan of action? Did you all have jobs? What was going on?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to expand my business. I was a massage therapist, and he told me he would help me, so we was out of there. But when it comes to it, he didn't want to keep a job, and then I got pregnant, so I really couldn't work. So we just...
So when I asked y'all earlier, did you have a plan? It didn't sound like that plan was put into place.
The plan went down the drain.
Okay, I'm going to turn to you, Mr. Billups. What happened with the plan?
So in Portia's eyes, you know, she wanted me to just walk a specific line. You know, I also, while supporting her in her business and her entrepreneurial career, I've decided to try to take new ventures in myself.
Okay.
You know, I had a job and I was working remote. When we moved to LA, they decided to change it up and make me come back into the office back in Texas.
Everybody is going back into the office. That's going like around the country.
Right.
So let me guess, you weren't trying to go back in an office?
I was not.
Okay.
But I was finding other means to take care of my family.
Okay.
I helped him find another job, which he didn't want to do that either. Like, he has a dog that he loves so much, he went and got a job at a dog parlor, which he got fired from there too.
What's going on, Mr. Billups? It sounded a little unreliable.
Just trying to find my new wave, but I've always kept my family fed.
Is that true, Miss Roney?
No, ma'am.
That sounds that you started to see unreliable behavior. However, you say it really started even when you were going to the hospital. Am I correct?
Yeah, when I was going to the hospital. I'm not gonna lie, when we got to, when we moved, we was going out partying. That's what we do. We loved to party. But he started going to places I don't normally like. I love my LGBT, but that's where he liked us to go. So I stopped going, and then I found out I was pregnant. I stopped going. And I asked him, spend more time at home, rub my body. Like, it was like he wasn't attracted to my body anymore. So it made me feel a type of way. So I'm like, okay, what's going on?
What was going on, Mr. Billups?
I'm just trying to stay out of her way. Everything I was doing was bothering her, irritating her. I'm not trying to upset, you know, this lady. She's pregnant with a child. Everything I'm doing is making her irritable. So I'm trying to stay out of her way. So yes, I did go out and make new friends. I'm out trying to just socialize just with new people, and I'm
But not with me.
just trying to stay out of her
But not with
way.
me.
Everything I'm doing is literally making her mad. She's going off on me about everything, the dishes, the way I vacuum, the way I brush my teeth. I'm brushing my teeth too loud, like.
Mr. Billups, something tells me that Miss Roney's behavior was because she was feeling that something was going on in your relationship.
And he was putting a dog in front of me, like, every time. Like, I even got evidence of that. Like,
The dog is cute.
dog in the front seat. I'm pregnant. Why I have to get in the back seat?
I was just placing the stuff in the front seat momentarily, and she took
He was
that as
locked in.
I'm making her sit in the back seat.
She had the seatbelt on. Seatbelt clicked.
She did have a seatbelt on.
Okay? Seatbelt was
It
clearly
looked
on.
like you had strapped in the car seat. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I saw.
She doesn't want to talk to me. She don't want to sit next to me. So, I mean, it's kind of like I'm
Why are
trying
y'all
to
together?
diffuse the situation. I love her. She bring me good energy. You know, that's how we started this relationship. She was a breath of fresh air. When we started this, we had open line of communication. And
Sounds more like a therapist than a girlfriend.
No. I'm
Okay.
attracted to her. She's beautiful. You know, she make me feel good.
I know I'm beautiful. But what else? Like, you got to give me something else. Like, with the dog issues, like, he will miss my doctor's appointment with the baby, but go to the dog appointments, not miss.
If you tell me you don't want me to come,
You better pop up anyway. It's your first child. Why wouldn't you be there?
I'm not trying to be in the way. She got a good way of making me feel welcome.
Well, I know you guys have had, several sort of run-ins with miscommunication. I think at the base of this is you're not trusting Mr. Billups, and I think that's because of what's been described as some sneaky
Yeah.
behavior that makes you think that he's cheating.
Yeah. One day he left his emails up, his laptop. I normally don't go through his stuff, but I found 2 emails. One was where they both transgenders. One because I know she sent pictures, so therefore cheating.
I was like, send me a picture, let me see, so I could see what you're talking about. And I felt like it was only fair for me to send mine.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, so it's like what?
Why don't you tell me what you're talking about?
Well, it started with the going out more, coming home early.
You
week
indicated that a
hours.
little bit.
Yes. So he started holding his phone more, like going to the bathroom with it, eating with it. It never left. I
Was
know
that different than what
it
had
was
happened?
very much different.
Like I said, everything I was doing, the way I was walking in the house, I'm just talking to my friends, you know, I'm trying
I
to stay
see.
out the way. That was
wasn't
my way,
friends.
and I told her that, like, this is my way of trying not to get on your nerves.
But
wasn't
you
friends.
took it a different way.
I did take it a different way. One day he left his emails up, his laptop. I normally don't go through his stuff, but this time it's in my stomach.
And
So
young
I'm like,
people, y'all do
me
that.
see.
I know.
Let
I
me
know.
see what's going on. So I doubled back and sat down. I found 2 emails. It was 2 different people. One was where they both transgenders. One because I know she sent pictures. It was the face like mine, but the middle part was different. And it was another one, same thing. I can't really tell you if it was a man or a woman. So now I'm like, what is going on? Because he sent back news himself. So therefore, cheating. That's cheating to me.
So,
Yes.
so when I met those 2 individuals, it was my first time, like, finding out what was going on, you know, and being introduced into that world. So I was like, prove it. Send me a picture. Let me see. So I could see what you're talking about. And I felt like it was only fair for me to send mine.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, so why would you send it back? Like, what?
Did I just date myself? Okay. I think I just dated myself, but I don't care. First of all, I'm not even going to deal with the trans part. I'm dealing with are you in a relationship with this person? Why would you be sending your nudes back and forth to anybody?
They were old.
Man, woman, transitioning, or staying in the same position. Excuse me?
They were old photos.
But this was not old emails. This is what I'm saying. This is a contemporaneous email exchange. Am I correct?
Correct.
It was just a small conversation, just trying to...
That's not a small conversation. That is digital cheating, no question. That's a violation of the relationship. So you have to tell me, why would you be exchanging nude pictures? Were you being curious? I mean,
I was curious, honestly, and it was just more so like something to do other than get on her nerves. So it just, the
read
conversation...
a book, okay? That's something to do. Watch Law and Order, do something else. I mean, exchanging nudes. That's like the extreme of something to do.
I saw it as innocent. You know, I wasn't looking.
Is
at
there a
my
member
friend.
of the jury that sees it as innocent?
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, sir. Okay, so you have to understand then she's now going to be suspicious. Now I understand why you're not trusting. That's really what it's about. And that's not the only thing that made you suspicious.
It got so bad. Like before I found out about those two, it was someone named Alex calling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I look at the number, I don't touch it. It's a girl that I know from now. Well, he was like, I'm finna go out. I'm finna just go chill with some friends. Never said a pool party. So at this point, we're sharing locations. I already done screenshotted where he going. So I was like, okay. So
You do realize you with Leon Panetta over here from the CIA.
I do.
She about
Turned it
to,
off.
she gonna find it out.
I am.
I do.
He turned it off. So I'm on my way too. We both on our way. So by the time I get there, I have to calm myself down.
Everybody going to the pool party.
We all going. So I'm calming myself down. I park on the side. Couldn't get in the gate. It's one of those type of apartments. So I jumped the gate. He in the pool with Alex. I don't know if Alex right now is a man or a woman, and that's why I'm here today to find out lie detector tests or whatever I need to do to see have he been cheating with these transgenders and what is going on.
I don't know what the problem was between Miss Roney and Alex.
She did kiss me on my neck.
Corey, if I playfully kiss you on the neck, your wife gonna be having some flower bringing and some slow singing. Am I correct?
Your Honor,
I'm listening.
I didn't tell her I was going to Alex's pool party because she just got into it with Alex last year off of a misunderstanding. So I already knew if I said, oh, Alex throwing a pool party, I'm gonna stop by, she would have been like, oh, I ain't going for that. So I'm like, okay, yes, I should have told her I should have went. I was going, but
Correct.
it was really just to pay respect to my friend.
I don't know what the problem was between Miss Roney and Alex, but was it serious enough that...
She felt like Alex was flirting with me last summer.
What?
But you thought it would be okay to not tell her you were then
Bingo.
going over to Alex's house to be at a private pool party? Now you gotta make that make sense.
She know Alex is just my friend. Like,
I don't know nothing at this point. I don't even know if it's really a man or a woman at this point. That's why I'm here for some answers.
we've never crossed the line, never talked inappropriate with each other. She's literally just been like a friend.
But for some reason, Miss Roney does not trust Alex.
Right. Last summer, me and Alex, while we were hanging out, she did kiss me on my neck.
That's called being inappropriate.
But it was like a playful kiss. It wasn't like serious. And so she told
Question,
me.
excuse me. Corey, your wife gonna let somebody if I playfully kiss you on the neck, we might be having some flower bringing and some slow singing. Am I correct?
She gonna playfully break some necks at that.
That's what I thought. Okay? Funerals is what we will be at. I don't understand. Is this some new stuff that young people think that you can do? That's a violation of your relationship, sir.
I try to communicate with her and
You
let her
don't
know.
try to do nothing.
I do.
You
I
don't
be-
try to do nothing but be with your friends and do sneaky stuff. That's why we're here. You don't try to do nothing.
Even when I explain it to her, she gonna still call it sneaky.
But Mr. Billups, what's the explanation?
I just be hanging out with my friends. Like,
And you think it's
over
a
that now. You can still hang with them, cool. But it's time to be at home sometime. Get stuff in order.
but how I'm gonna be at home if I can't even sneeze without
I ain't
possibly
pregnant no
getting-
more.
I think it's time for us to get those answers.
I definitely need those answers.
Let's ask Mr. Yarborough to join us, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir.
Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mr. Yarborough. Please identify yourself officially for the record.
Certainly. My name is John Yarborough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner, also a member of the American Polygraph Association. I've done hundreds of polygraphs for law enforcement and other public safety agencies, as well as professional and private polygraphs.
And Mr. Yarborough, I asked you on behalf of the court to administer a polygraph examination to Mr. Billups at his request.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Billups willingly submitted to a polygraph examination containing 3 questions. The first question, we asked Mr. Billups, did you have sexual contact with either of the 2 people in the email threads Ms. Roney found. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Billups' answer?
Mr. Billups answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception indicated to that question.
So
He was being
that was
truthful.
an accurate answer. The second question, Mr. Yarborough, we asked Mr. Billups, did you have any sexual contact with the person named Alex, whose pool party you secretly attended?
That is correct.
What was Mr. Billups' answer?
Mr. Billups answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception indicated.
So
to that
he told the
question.
truth.
That ain't it. You got one more.
You just gotta listen. Just listen to me.
You still got one more.
Mr. Yarborough, we asked Mr. Billups a third question. Since beginning your relationship with Ms. Roney, have you had any sexual contact with anyone other than her?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Billups' answer?
Mr. Billups answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception indicated to that
See?
question.
See, I know me though.
So why would you lie?
I'm
You
faithful.
still lie.
I'm faithful though.
You still was sexting and stuff. You not faithful.
I
Long way
apologize for
from
that.
it.
I
Still a long way
apologize
from
for
it.
that.
Mr. Yarborough, so there was no deception in any of the questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your service to this court.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. First off, I think, Ms. Roney, you owe Mr. Billups an apology for accusing him of being a cheater.
He was still sexting. It's just this.
I haven't dealt with the sexting, but you accused him of being unfaithful and having sexual contact with several people, and
The people that I found, it was a no, so I apologize.
not
for
just the
that.
people that you found, because I asked that last question, and he passed that question. So you owe him an apology.
I apologize.
I ain't hear you.
I apologize. I do apologize.
Yep, that's right, Miss Roney, because you made the accusations with
I
your
did.
chest. You got to apologize. Say it with your chest.
that
That's where you
chest.
got to do it. So
Take it too far.
there's clearly, however, so don't think that we're done. There's clearly, however, something that you all need to discuss, because something is happening in this relationship. Y'all are not communicating in a way that is healthy for two people who say they love each other. And it's certainly not healthy for your child. So, Mr. Billups, I clearly believe that you have been faithful in terms of sexual contact with other people. But something's going on in your head and in your heart that you and your girlfriend need to have real conversations about.
I
Because
agree.
you're both not being fulfilled in this relationship. You agree with me on that, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree with me?
I do agree. And he did also tell me he was curious. So
That's a conversation
that's
that a couple
conversation
needs
they
to
need
have.
Yes.
If you are in search of your own truth, you are entitled to do that. But you have to be honest with your partner if that's what you're doing. And then your partner has the option of saying, I'm going on that journey with you, or I'm going to let you take that journey alone. I think that's fair.
That is fair.
That's mature, and that's what two people who say they love each other do, especially when they have a child. Because no matter what happens, that child depends on the two of you to
Right.
figure out how you're going to co-parent. So I'm going to suggest to you that you take some time to not be with your friends and you not be Inspector Gadget, but just sit down and have real conversations. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your children. And I hope you find your way, both of you. That's my verdict.
Thank you. See,
Miss Graham says that Mr. Scott is living a double life and he thinks she's too dumb to notice. She says the truth will set them both free. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Graham v. Scott.
Thank you so very much. Miss Graham and Mr. Scott, welcome to Divorce Court. I'm glad to have you both here. I'm glad that you have joined us today. We are looking at a case where yet another couple is facing a crossroads, trying to decide if this relationship is going to lead to marriage. I understand you're already engaged, but there's been an impediment. Am I correct?
Yes.
So, Ms. Graham, I understand you all have been together for 2.5 years. You've been engaged for a year. Mr. Scott, the wedding date has already been set. You all do not have children together. And Ms. Graham, you did bring a child to the relationship, 4 years old. So you're trying to build a family, am I correct?
Correct.
So what brings us to divorce court today, ma'am?
Your Honor, I believe that my fiance is cheating on me and living a double life. If I find out that's true, I'm out.
That sounds very succinct. Mr. Scott, what say you, sir?
I love my fiance, Your Honor. She's trying to ruin my reputation. She keep accusing me, and it has to stop today.
I think that's fair because the only thing that a man has is his reputation and his name. Am I correct?
I agree, Your Honor.
And so what we want to do is not be casting aspersions on anybody's reputation or name with unfounded accusations. Am I right?
That's it.
But by the same token, Ms. Graham, you are entitled to know the truth so that you don't walk down the proverbial primrose path. Am I right?
Correct.
All right. So now why don't you take us back to how you all first met, and then what led us to get to a point where we're actually in divorce court. You start, Ms. Graham.
Okay, so we met in high school. We hung around in the same friend group, so it wasn't actually a surprise that we became a couple. Shortly after high school, we made it official. I started seeing that, wow, I could really be with this guy. We wanted the same thing. We both wanted a family. I started looking at him in a different light. I started falling in love with Chris. He started taking me on these beautiful, extravagant trips. I fell in love with him. He proposed to me on my birthday in Las Vegas. Ever since then, it's just been wedding, 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 and our wedding is around the corner, so I need some answers.
It's so interesting, Mr. Scott. Ms. Graham paints a picture of a perfect gentleman doing all the things that a woman says she wants.
That's correct.
Mr. Scott, is that just who you are as a man?
It is, Your Honor.
What started off wonderfully has turned into you saying that he's, quote, sneaky and a liar.
Very sneaky, Your Honor. The very first thing that I can remember, we were enjoying dinner one night and the bill came. This man jumped up when I told him that I left my wallet at the house. He left me. I started calling his phone. He left out of the restaurant. I started calling his phone. He blocked me.
How long had you all been dating when this occurred?
We had been dating for over a year now.
And
we were already engaged.
Okay.
Your Honor.
I'm his fiance.
That sounds like a little bit over the top. So I'm gonna give Mr. Scott the opportunity.
Your Honor, it was her time to pay. Every time it's her time to pay the bill.
She gets short arms like a little dinosaur like this.
She always leave her wallet at home, her credit card locked up. It's always an excuse every time, and I'm tired of it.
Your Honor, I sat there so long. The manager had to cover the bill.
Your Honor, I wanted to teach her a lesson. I knew she'd figure it out on her own.
What was your financial expectation as it relates to now your fiance?
Well, it was her idea to go out on the date because I always treat her out. So she came to me and she said, don't make any plans when you get off from work. I'm going to take you out. So taking me out means, Your Honor, I'm going to cover the bill.
Gotcha. And Ms. Graham?
I feel like he should have treated me out. Why? What's wrong with taking your woman on a date?
I'm not even dealing with what was wrong. It's not. If he takes you out all the time or whatever. Did you tell him, I'm going to treat you today?
I might have.
And then you didn't bring your wallet?
I might, I might have left it
She
at home.
intentionally left her wallet at home.
So guess who had to figure it out? That's what happens when you play silly games, you win silly prizes. But it actually taught you a lesson.
It may have, Your Honor, but I feel like it was very convenient because when I got home, he blocked me.
Oh.
So I have a fake, he blocked me on everything, like all social media, but I have a fake page that I follow him from.
Oh.
So when I get home, he was gone for days. He never came home.
What's days? What do you mean?
He was gone for 5 days to be exact.
It was 3 days.
It was 5.
It was 3.
When I get home, Your Honor, he's in Mexico.
Your Honor, I was not
Yes.
in Mexico.
Yes.
What makes, I'm
I was
sorry,
at my mom's house.
Mr. Scott, hold on a second. What makes you think he was in Mexico?
He on his story on social media. He's on the beach sipping pina coladas. Your Honor, I believe that he left me on purpose, and I think that he went out of the country with another person.
Your Honor,
Who
it
goes
was
out
an
of the
old
country
picture.
by
I was
themselves?
at home at my mom's house.
So what
needed a break from her.
So what was going on with this story? Because I'm assuming this is on one of the social media platforms. What made her think you were in Mexico, sir?
I posted the old picture from a few years ago,
Okay.
and she thought I was in Mexico.
Was that purposeful?
Yes, I wanted to teach her a lesson.
Okay. Again, play silly games, win silly prizes.
Your Honor, this one of many stories.
I'm listening.
I drive trucks for a living.
Uh-oh.
So this is easy for him to do what he wants to do. We have 2 locks on our door. We never lock the top lock. So the top lock is locked. So I'm calling him like, babe, open the door, open the door. He did not unlock the door. Time goes by like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yes. He finally comes and unlocks the door. I go check, the back door is unlocked. I believe someone was in that house. Someone was in our house. So anyways, there's one time I got home early and we have 2 locks on our door. We never lock the top lock. So the top lock is locked. So I'm calling him like, babe, open the door, open the door. He did not unlock the door. So he's like, I'm coming, I'm in the shower. So I'm like, time goes by like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yes, he finally comes and unlocks the door. He's dry. He has not been in the shower. I go check the shower. There's no water in the shower at all whatsoever. I go check, the back door is unlocked. I believe someone was in that house. Someone was in our house. I know someone was in that house. Who takes 20 minutes to come unlock the door?
I have to tell you, Mr. Scott, Miss Graham makes a good point. What was going on?
Your Honor, I disagree. I don't know about Renata, but I locked the top and the bottom lock.
Okay.
She was banging on the door, knocking on the door. I didn't know who the hell it was at the time. So
No.
I'm taking my time to get dressed, fully dressed before I go to the door.
But wait a minute. Miss Graham says she communicated with you and you said
That
you
was
were
after
around.
I picked up the phone for her. Then I knew it was her.
So why would it take 20 minutes? Most partners would say, oh my God, I'm sorry, let me run.
Your Honor,
to the
she
door.
over-exaggerating. It was not 10 minutes. It wasn't 10, it wasn't 20 minutes.
How long was it?
I say about 3 to 5 minutes.
Who takes that long?
It's
So
the
at
truth,
least
Your
I
Honor.
understand why Miss Graham has trust issues. But I'm curious about this mystery man situation.
Oh yeah. So anyways, Your Honor, I get a call, well, multiple calls. I submitted to the court. Someone just keeps calling me. So I thought it was an emergency. I answered the phone.
Did you recognize the number?
It was blocked. This person started calling my phone like 100 times per day.
Using the same phone number. Oh, just say block number,
Yes,
restricted.
Yes. And they were very descriptive about my house. They were descriptive about a birthmark that Chris has on his thigh.
So tell me, first of all, what makes you think it was a man?
The voice. They told me they were a man. I submitted evidence to the court showing this person calls my phone over 100 times a day saying they're in love with Chris.
I can see from 3:11 p.m. up to 3:15 p.m.
Oh,
and
it's more.
My court staff said this is just one page and one sample
Yes.
of it calling every minute, every minute, every minute. So at some point you picked up the phone?
Yes, and I mean, they just called me non-stop.
And please tell me exactly the substance of this conversation.
They're saying that they're in love with Chris. They're saying that this man was in a sexual relationship with Chris. They're getting married. I'm not walking down the aisle. They even threatened to pop up to my wedding.
So no matter what, this is somebody that's trying to hurt you. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, and I want answers. I asked Chris about it. Your Honor, he told me that he has had fantasies in the past, but I have nothing to worry about.
Mrs. Scott, do you have any idea who this is?
I don't know who it is, Your Honor. I have admitted to her in the past that I had an interest, a thought about it, but that was years ago. She spent over 10 grand on my credit card lavishly. Yes, Your Honor, lavishly buying jewelry, designer bags, taking trips, fancy restaurants, and not a dime of it was spent on me.
It sounds like a little gold digger tendencies, if you ask me. But I want to know about this person. You don't know who this is.
I have no idea who that is, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm curious whether or not there's somebody that would want to hurt you. It's clear that somebody wants to hurt her. Is there anybody in your life, sir, that you think might want to hurt you by causing a rift in your relationship?
Nobody that I could think of, Your Honor. It always happens when I'm not there.
Well, under normal circumstances, I'd say I don't know about these calls because I don't have any recordings.
Honestly, Your Honor, I really think it's because she wants a better ring. She complains about the ring. When I proposed to her in Las Vegas, Nevada, she said, "Oh, I'm not going to marry you. My coworker's going to laugh at me about this ring."
What are you talking about? You gave her an engagement ring?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And she didn't like it?
She said it was too small. She don't know the difference between the carats.
Oh, well, I would want a nice man rather than I care about the carrots.
Right. I agree with you, Your Honor. I agree.
Yeah, and if I got the right man, an Amazon ring works for me because
Amen.
That's what, you know.
Not to mention, Your Honor, I gave her my credit card for emergency purposes. She spent over 10 grand on my credit card lavishly. Yes, Your Honor, lavishly buying jewelry, designer bags, taking trips, fancy restaurants, and not a dime of it was spent on me.
So, Miss Graham, it sounds like a little gold digger tendencies, if you ask me.
No, I'm not.
I agree, Your Honor.
If I look on my trusty iPad and look up the word gold digger, your picture might be sitting there.
Your Honor, he told me that I could use the card to my own discretion.
And did you think that that meant that he was Mr. Moneybags? Corey?
Not okay.
Not okay.
Not to mention I spent over 15 grand preparing for a wedding.
So it sounds like Mr. Scott has been stepping up in this relationship. Miss Graham, what is it that...
Your Honor, I feel like Chris is doing this because he's making up for all of the stuff that he's doing.
But you also are exhibiting some gold digger tendencies. What's up with that?
I don't think I'm a gold digger.
You're enjoying the
I agree, Your
accoutrements
Honor.
of the relationship without some of the responsibility. I'm trying to be fair in listening to both sides. I feel like the trust is diminished between the two of you. Why don't you trust Mr. Scott, Miss Graham?
Because of the lies. That's why I came here today to see if he's telling the truth on a lie detector test.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. Scott was serious about wanting to clear his name, and you said to the court that you would willingly submit to a polygraph exam. Am I correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So I called in an expert in polygraph examinations to assist the court in your evaluation.
Thank you, Your
Will you
Honor.
please ask the witness to join us?
Sure. Sir.
You know, Mr. Scott, someone who purposely says that they want to submit to a polygraph examination, that's somebody who says, I'm going to stand in my truth no matter what. Am I correct, sir?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and so, Mr. Yarborough, welcome to divorce court. Again, you and I have worked together, and I would like you to state for the record your professional affiliation and your expertise, sir.
Absolutely. My name is John Yarborough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner. I'm a member of the American Polygraph Association. I've done hundreds of polygraphs for law enforcement and other public safety agencies. I've also done private polygraphs as well as professional polygraphs.
And so Mr. Yarborough is, for this court, our expert when it comes to polygraph examinations. And Mr. Scott, you met with Mr. Yarborough, am I correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Wonderful. Mr. Yarborough, you asked Mr. Scott 3 questions.
Yes, ma'am.
During polygraph examination. I know we asked Mr. Scott, quote, during your trip to Mexico, after your argument with Renata, did you have sexual contact with anyone besides Renata? Is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
And what was Mr. Scott's answer to that question?
Mr. Scott's answer to that question was that he did not go to Mexico. that he actually went and stayed at his mother's house.
And what did the test results indicate?
Well, since the question was completely irrelevant at that point because he never went to Mexico, according to him, then the question was not applicable.
Absolutely. Question number 2. Mr. Yarbrough, we asked Mr. Scott, regarding the time Renata could not enter her house due to the deadbolt being locked, did you have sexual contact with anyone? That's a very specific question.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Scott's answer?
Mr. Scott answered no.
What did the test results indicate?
The polygraph indicated that there was deception indicated.
There was a third question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Yarbrough, we asked Mr. Scott, since being in a relationship with Renata, have you had sexual contact with anyone she is not aware of?
That is correct.
What was Mr. Scott's answer?
Mr. Scott answered during the pre-test interview discussions that, yes, indeed, he had.
I understand, as with your professional practice, when a subject self-admits, it is not necessary to ask that third question.
No, ma'am, he's already said that yes to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Yarbrough. I appreciate your service.
Thank you. Good day, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott, is there
Yes,
something
Your
that
Honor.
you want to say?
Yes, to my fiance, I apologize, and I hope you could forgive me and it won't happen again.
I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need to say to Ms. Graham regarding this mystery person who's been making phone calls? And this is your private business, and I will not play a part of putting you in a situation that you are not comfortable with. And you are in control of your personal information.
Yes.
So you be comfortable with what I'm about to ask you.
Okay.
Is there anything else Ms. Graham needs to know?
Yes, I have cheated before, and I hope that you could forgive me.
Don't come near me, Chris. Get
you
up.
marry me?
No, weirdo, get up.
Would you marry me?
No. Chris, no.
Please.
No. No.
You said you
no.
wanted a new ring.
Are you gay?
No.
You just cheated on me.
You said you wanted a new ring.
Mr. Scott,
Could we
Yes,
end
Your
this?
Honor.
No. No.
you want to stand up, and you might want to stand there. A lie diminishes the trust. I can guarantee you Ms. Graham has more questions. I guarantee you. And she's entitled to ask them. You may tell her in any forum that you choose. But it's the ultimate of manipulation and control to try to put this young lady in a situation where she must not embarrass you or herself and say yes to a proposal that is built on a lie.
She wanted a new ring, Your Honor.
I
She
agree with you.
complained
Miss Graham wanted a big...
Mr. Abbott says when it comes to his fiancée, he can't figure out which is worse, her cheating or her drinking. Either way, he's had enough. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Abbott v. Robbins.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abbott and Ms. Robbins. Welcome to Divorce Court. We're glad to have you here, and we're glad to welcome you all to this case where my plaintiff and defendant are deciding if they're going to get married. They have been together for 4 years. They've been engaged for 2 years, but there's some issues between the two of them that the plaintiff says if it's not resolved by the results of a polygraph examination, he's out of this relationship. Mr. Abbott, you heard my summary. What's yours? Why are you here in divorce court?
I'm here today because my fiance is immature, irresponsible, and messing around with others. And if I find out she is, then the engagement is off.
You ready to make that decision today, sir?
depends what the results are.
Okay, Ms. Robbins, you heard what Mr. Abbott said. What do you say, ma'am?
Your Honor, I really love my fiance. There's no other man I'll ever find as loyal as he is. And I'm here today because I want to prove to him that I've changed and that I really could be a good wife to him.
So that's something that we will determine, because Mr. Abbott is not just talking about being a good wife. He's also talking about being a good mother. Because as I understand, Mr. Abbott, although you and Ms. Robbins do not have children together, you have 2 small children from a previous relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that whoever you bring into your life is in their lives. Am I
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And do you have primary custody of your boys?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have stepped up as a father, and you are raising these 2 young men. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tell me how you all met, because I want to know what got us here.
We met on Facebook, and her and my ex were friends, and they were actually cell buddies when they were in jail.
You got a type, huh? Cell buddies while they were in jail, okay.
And we started messing around and started dating behind my ex's back.
I can tell.
And things got a little more serious than I planned on it to get. So I ended up moving in with her. And then I eventually asked her to marry me. And then we was planning on a beach wedding. But now I'm not so sure if that's what I want.
So, Ms. Robbins, it's fair to say that you all didn't begin the relationship in honesty. Is that fair?
No, we did not.
You did not begin in honesty.
No.
So, Mr. Abbott is concerned that there's been some behaviors that have led him to believe that you might not be the woman of his dreams. You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
So why don't we talk it through, Mr. Abbott? You say that she is a little bit immature and you're not sure if she's actually ready for marriage. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So give me an example of what you mean.
An example, at the time her son was 17 years old, and we went to Ocean City, Maryland, and it's a nice beach down there.
Oh, yeah. I know that area. My family's from
And-
Maryland. Okay.
He took his 2 friends with him, and they was old enough, I told them to go out and have fun. They're teenage boys, so I took her out to dinner, and when I took her out to dinner, she said she wanted to get a drink. I said, okay. Well, she ended up getting a Bacardi rum bucket, but the bucket was literally about like this wide.
Yeah, all right.
And it was about 2 feet tall. And she didn't even ask me if I wanted a drink till it was just ice left.
Wait a minute. I've seen those buckets. I mean, they're like this. Isn't that the ones that they often put the bottles in?
I can't afford a bucket that big.
It was $5. It was on sale. And I paid for it, so you didn't afford it.
It was a big bucket, Miss Robbins.
I guess I don't remember.
Because you drank everything in the bucket.
I guess I did.
Uh-oh. So we know that she didn't act responsibly, but something else happened?
Yeah, so after she was done drinking, her phone kept ringing over and over again. And when I looked at the phone, it said Ocean City Police Department. Come to find out, the kids got arrested for underage drinking and disorderly conduct. She was too drunk to be able to walk into the police station to get her kid back. So luckily I was sober, and
That's because you didn't have nothing to drink from the bucket. Poor man.
so I eventually went in there and I was able to get the kids, but that was after I had to call the other kids' parents
Oh, my
and
God.
explain the story. They want to talk to her because that's the mother, and she's drunk and can't speak.
It's just one of these mistakes that you have admitted to.
I mean, he's making it out to be worse than it really was.
Wait a minute. Let me be real clear, Miss Robbins.
Sorry.
I want to be very clear. You had a son who was 17 at the time.
Yes, ma'am.
He got arrested with some other underage kids
Yes, he did.
because they were drinking, got drunk, belligerent, and were disorderly in a resort town, and they went to jail. Am I correct?
Yes.
That is about as worse as it can be when you have to call somebody else's mama to tell them that your child is arrested because I was too irresponsible to supervise him when I told you that I would. That's bad. He don't have to make it out to be anything. Because the parents that are on my jury right now, you'd have some splaining to do. I'm telling you right now. That's just the truth, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
So we have to acknowledge where we have made our errors.
Yeah.
You can
it was pretty bad.
I imagine it was.
It was pretty embarrassing, absolutely. You wasn't saying that when I was doing nails. You was telling me how great they looked and how gorgeous they were. You're something else.
Because you're my girl, I don't want to put you down. I want you to keep building yourself up.
Oh, so you've been lying to me and telling me that they were good.
How dare you be mad at this man for you being the dumbest person I have seen in a long time? What are you talking about? Mr. Abbott, you say that's not the only time that you've seen some irresponsible behavior. Financial irresponsibility is also an issue. Am I correct?
Yes. So when she first moved in, she was helping me pay the bills. She was helping me pay the rent, the car note, and the car insurance. So she was giving me about $1,000 a month.
So you all were splitting?
We were splitting the bills.
Okay, and that was your agreement, right, Miss Robbins?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And she was working at a coffee shop, and eventually the coffee shop ended up closing down.
Okay.
Once the coffee shop closed down, I asked her, what are you gonna do? Because work was getting slow for me. I work in construction, and I was getting behind on my car payment. Then my car ended up getting repoed, and I lost my car, and now I'm sitting here without a car because she didn't want to try to get a job and help me pay for nothing.
So how long was Miss Robbins out of work?
About 9 months.
That's a lot of time, Miss Robbins.
She still doesn't have a job.
Miss Robbins, what's going on, honey?
It was hard for me to find another job because I didn't graduate. I also had a son young, and
And I know what? Come on, talk to me.
Your Honor, what she knows is that she got $18,000 inheritance check. But when I heard she got the inheritance, I'm thinking, all right, the bills are gonna be caught up. We're gonna be okay now. Well, the car still left the driveway on a tow truck.
What did she spend the money on?
Well, she said she was starting a lash business. So
Okay.
she kept watching YouTube and all this.
Yeah,
and
YouTube University, baby. You learn everything on the YouTube.
she's got bachelor's in it.
Okay.
And she ended up telling me that she was going to order some and start a business. So I was supporting her. I said, okay, let's do it. She ended up telling me, can you come help me carry the lashes in? They're here. I walk up the steps thinking it's only a couple boxes. I don't even put shoes on. I just put my slides on. Get to the top of the steps, and there's 15 big boxes. I ask her, how much did all this cost? She shows me the phone on PayPal, $12,000. And she don't know nothing about a business. But she said she was gonna sell them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
What in the world?
I know, I did. I jumped in too fast. I did. I really did. I really did. But he's one to talk because he has a spending addiction, a spending habit.
Miss Robbins, go back to my lashes. I'm sorry. I wear lashes every day, Exhibit A. Somebody tell me, what in the world did you think?
You should see his Jordan collection. You need to give a picture of that?
I'm asking you. That's called deflection, what you're doing. What did you think you were going to do with that? You didn't have one client yet.
You're right.
And you have $12,000 worth of lashes?
No, I do admit I messed up there. I really did.
After she spent the $12,000 on the lashes, that failed. I end up parked in Walmart shopping center and selling lashes out of the back of my SUV.
You're something else. You are something else.
So then she gets a bright idea that she's gonna go and learn how to do acrylic nails. So what does she do? She goes and spends $3,500 on nails and did all your friends' nails for free.
Well, I was trying to advertise the skills that I had.
Work.
You know what? You wasn't saying that when I was doing nails. You was telling me how great they looked and how gorgeous they were. You're something else.
Because you're my girl, I don't want to put you down. I want you to keep building yourself up.
Oh, so you've been lying to me and telling me that they were good.
How dare you be mad at this man for you being the dumbest person I have seen in a long time? What are you talking about? You just spent over $15,000 on mess. You should have stayed in school. Maybe they would have taught you something. Girl.
I come home from work one day, and I hear my girl in the bedroom. And I walk in, and I see that she is getting oral sex from Brittany.
Mr. Abbott, you actually came and asked for a polygraph examination because you suspect cheating. Am I correct?
Yes, that is true.
Please tell me why.
So she has a friend. I know that they're more than friends.
Is this a man or a woman?
This is a woman.
Okay.
You know, when we first got together, I did have a threesome with her and a girl just at a bar.
At a bar?
Just at a bar. We was having fun. I was drunk, and I just went with it. She started.
Members of the jury, please stop judging. Please stop judging. Thank you.
Well, after that, we had a hotel party, and it was a bunch of our friends, me, her, and her friend. So I knew that they'd been talking about wanting to have a threesome with me. I told her no, because I don't look at Brittany like that. Honestly, I think she's annoying. I can't stand her. And
the last thing you do is want to have sex with somebody that you find annoying and you can't stand.
Exactly.
There ain't that much drunk in the world, okay?
So
I got you.
We get home, and she decides if Brittany ain't in the bed, then I might as well not be in the bed. So our sex life went all the way down after that because I wouldn't have a threesome with her and her friend. So then I come home from work one day, and I walk into the basement, and I hear my girl in the bedroom. And I walk in, and I see that she is getting oral sex from Brittany in my bed and didn't even clean the sheets.
Okay, members of the jury, you can be judgy right about now. Now you can be judgy. Now we can be judgy.
So, Your Honor, I told her to cut Brittany off. She said she was going to.
So what happened?
Obviously, she didn't get the memo because I'm leaving for work one morning.
Oh, my God.
And I hear her in the bathroom talking. I went in the bathroom. She tried to throw a towel over something. So I walk over, and I pick the towel up, and I see the phone. I didn't ask who she was talking to because I already knew.
You're a real trip.
No, actually, y'all both are a real trip, and the only thing that is making me crazier
well, Your Honor,
is that there are 2 kids involved in this, Lord.
This lie detector test is going to be the real definition of a trip because she may be making this trip back to Maryland by herself.
Uh-oh. Which brings us to the polygraph examiner because we have now hit that point. Corey?
Okay.
I think it's time to get Mr. Yarborough.
I think so, too.
Okay. Come on, Mr. Yarborough, introduce yourself to the court.
Certainly. My name is John Yarborough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner and a member of the American Polygraph Association. I have conducted hundreds of polygraphs for law enforcement and other public safety agencies, as well as professional and private.
I asked you to put 3 questions to Ms. Robbins, who voluntarily submitted to a polygraph examination. Am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
The first question we asked Ms. Robbins, the day Mr. Abbott caught you using the secret phone in the bathroom, were you talking to Brittany?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Ms. Robbins' answer?
Ms. Robbins answered yes. She was talking to Brittany on that phone.
So there was no need to examine her since she self-admitted. Am I correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
You've got that answer. Question number 2, we asked Ms. Robbins, since being with Mr. Abbott, Have you had any sexual contact with Brittany that Mr. Abbott is unaware of?
That is correct.
What was Ms. Robbins' answer?
She answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception noted to that question.
So Ms. Robbins is telling you.
I'm such a liar.
And Ms.
I'm such a liar, though.
All right, it ain't over yet.
Excuse me, and the third question. Mr. Yarborough, we asked Ms. Robbins, since being with Mr. Abbott, have you had sexual contact with anyone that Mr. Abbott is unaware of?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Ms. Robbins' answer?
She answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated
That was a lie.
there was no deception indicated to that question.
Because there was no deception because you told me the truth already. So that's why you didn't lie.
What did I tell you the truth about? What are you talking about?
Because you already told me the truth about the stuff.
You've been telling me I've been cheating on you, and you're gonna. Okay, you're
because you told me the truth. Now you say the truth on a lie detector test. Congratulations for not cheating on me.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
I'll
Thank
give that
you.
to you.
I
You
love
got
you.
that.
Mr. Abbott, Ms. Robbins, thank you. Mr. Abbott, let me tell you something. I don't know what it is you want, but I know you're not going to get it in this relationship. I'm positive of that, sir.
Well, she got 60 days to get it right. If not, I'm going on my way. And I'll
Mr. Abbott, excuse me, Mr. Abbott. You need to stop being a doormat your doggone self. Get up off the floor and letting people walk on you. If you don't want to be in a relationship with Lottie, Dottie, Brittany, and everybody, my suggestion is you say enough is enough. And guess what, Miss Robbins? If you don't really love him, and you want to be with Brittany, go be with Brittany. Y'all go be whatever you want to be, wherever you want to do it.
See that?
Okay? No, that is just the truth.
Yes,
Everybody's
it is.
tentled to their own life. But what you're not entitled to do is make everybody miserable. Excuse me.
Your $10 ring that I accepted.
Excuse me, you're not allowed to make everybody miserable, and what you're not allowed to do is damage these children anymore. Quit bringing this toxicity into these boys' lives. Okay? It's enough already. This ain't your wife, and she's certainly not the mother of your children. It's time for you to take a walk, because guess what?
I'm going to get drunk.
It's too
I don't have
toxic.
kids now.
Somebody go home to another house, change the locks, get your pictures and your plants, and get out.
Tell your kids
That's
to
my
call me.
verdict. Goodbye. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
It's crazy because this ain't even what I wanted. You're the one that's doing it.
Well, you did that. You want to humiliate me and not freaking be completely honest about your freaking flaws, but you want to because I couldn't do you like that.
You not being able to be a mother to the kids.
You know what? I think your kids I think that you exaggerate that a lot. You really exaggerate, and ask the kids. Ask them.
Okay.
Mrs. Williams says her fiancé has spent the last 2 years treating her like she's an ATM. But it's the lying and cheating that have her ready to walk away. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Williams v. Franklin.
Thank you very much. Ms. Williams, Ms. Franklin, I'm glad to have you here in Divorce Court. And welcome, everyone, to Divorce Court. Today's case, we have two young ladies who've been together for 2 years. They've been engaged for 1 year. And although they have no children together, there are a lot of problems that have cropped up that give the plaintiff a little pause, and there are some red flags before she's ready to walk down the aisle and marry Ms. Franklin. Ms. Williams, I think I've summarized that pretty well, but you tell me why we're in divorce court.
Your Honor, I'm here today because I care about my fiance. I gave up everything to be in this relationship, and in return, she lies, she drains me dry financially, and she's unfaithful.
That sounds pretty harsh and heartbreaking. And Ms. Franklin, Ms. Williams is saying you're breaking her heart. I don't know how else to put it. What do you say?
I say I admit that I've made mistakes, but I do love her so much, and I am sorry. And she's the only person I've ever wanted to have a family with and be with forever. And I'm here to prove that to her and keep this relation going at whatever cost.
So let's find out if that cost is too much. I think that's a fair way to put it. Ms. Williams, why don't you take me back to a time when there were daffodils and daisies when you first met, and then lead me to what got us to this point, ma'am.
Okay. So I met my fiance early in 2022. We was at a store. I seen her in the aisle, and I approached her asking about eyelashes. She informed me that she is a makeup artist and that I was in luck. She educated me on makeup and eyelashes, and I just fell in love with how smart she was and ambition, how passionate she was about what she do. She is the first woman that I ever been with. I would say 3 months into the relationship, I informed my family about me being with a woman. A lot of them did not accept the fact that I was with a woman because they are conservative Christians.
So you came out at that time? Is that the way it is referred to?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a big step. That's a big, big step. Ms. Franklin, Ms. Williams became her true, authentic self with you. Were you aware of that?
Yes, I was already open, pansexual, very open with my sexuality before I got with her. Being with her, I feel like I made her comfortable. She made me comfortable in other aspects of our relationship, and we've really flourished from them. I know that her coming out to her family has been a struggle. It's definitely something we've dealt with, but I've been here with her, and I'm committed to that.
So you all went through something pretty intense in the beginning of the relationship, just being able to be together. Tell me, Ms. Williams, what happened to change? What made you start to think that this was not the relationship for you?
What happened was I found out about who she really was.
One day you were dating her agent in the beginning, not the real person.
Exactly.
Yeah, I always say you got to be with somebody at least 18 months because it's the agent that shows up first. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm embarrassed, because when I first met her friends, we was all hanging out. She has a friend that she calls bestie. And so I confronted her and I asked, have you ever messed around with bestie? She told me no.
Is this another woman or a man?
This is a man.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're all hanging out at the bar and we're having a great time.
Because you wanted to know, okay, do I need to be looking with a side eye at this person?
Yeah.
Is this competition or what have you?
Right, because her and Bestie talks on the phone for hours. They're hanging out every day. So that's why I confronted her and asked her, hey, do I have anything to worry about with this person? And she said no. And then one day we was all out at the bar having a good time drinking, and she went to go get the next rounds, and Bestie twirled his way to me, put his arms around me, and was like, how do you like my sloppy seconds? Yeah.
So wait, and this was supposed to be a mutual friend at this point now?
I guess not, right? Embarrassing. Yeah, so I asked her, I was like, why would he call you his sloppy seconds? And she just got red and flustered, and then she started stuttering. And then everyone just started laughing, oh, you don't know? And I'm just like, no, I don't know. So I ended up just leaving, and then we got into a really big fight once she came home, and she's like, it's nothing, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you lied to me, that is something.
Ms. Franklin, you lied.
Yeah, I can admit that I lied. I feel like when we got together, she was very insecure about me being the first woman she was with. I seen those insecurities throughout the time we were together. This person was somebody I knew for years, and we had hooked up a long time before me and her had ever met.
And why didn't you just tell her that then?
Because I thought that she would be concerned about my friendship with this person.
Probably because she wouldn't want her now partner on the phone with somebody that she used to sleep with on a regular basis. And I think that would be reasonable, actually.
It wasn't a regular basis. It was a once, twice hookup, and that was all it was.
No, I'm talking about on the phone.
Oh, yes.
Miss Williams says that you and Bestie are on the phone talking all the time, you hanging out all the time. If that's true...
FaceTime in the shower.
Wait, FaceTime while in the shower?
Nothing serious, nothing
that's
extra.
pretty serious to me.
Nothing,
I'm sorry.
Nothing exclusive or sexual. There's no anything like that with him.
Okay, that might be reasonable, and it might be the truth for you, but she deserved the opportunity to tell you whether or not that worked for her.
I did apologize.
So we're out, we're having a good time, just me and her. And then one of my friends came up to me and I introduced my fiance to him and he was like, I already know her. So I'm just like, here I go again, embarrassed. Go ahead and paint the clown face on me. He had sex with her before we got together. But the reason why I'm upset is why every time we go out, we run into somebody you slept with.
That's not the only thing, Ms. Williams, that made you concerned that she was being deceitful, am I correct?
Right. There was a guy that, he was one of my old friends, and we was all out, and so we're out, we're having a good time, just me and her. And then one of my friends came up to me and was just kind of talking to me, and I introduced my fiance to him, and he was like, I already know her, and whatever. So I'm just like, here I go again, embarrassed. Go ahead and paint the clown face on me. The only reason why I'm not too mad about this situation is because he had sex with her before we got together. But the reason why I'm upset is why every time we go out, we run into somebody you slept with. When are you gonna respect yourself?
So it's not just a matter of suspicion of cheating, it's lack of character.
Exactly.
And so, Ms. Franklin, that's why I said you need that dating time so you could just really get to know a person and whether or not y'all really do mesh. I understand that financially y'all have been having some issues. Tell me about the $672, because I'm curious about that.
A year in the relationship, I proposed to Brianna.
Okay.
I gave her a ring, she said yes. So she moved in with me, but she insists on keeping her own apartment. So I paid all the bills at my home, and I paid majority of the bills at her house as well, too. I know, paint the clown face, right? So, but
I'm sorry, you have your own finances.
Right.
Ms. Franklin, do you work outside of the home?
Yes, I do. And she's making it like she pays everything. She does not pay everything.
Majority.
I pay the utility bills. She helps me with the rent.
Why does she need to help you with rent for your apartment when you all live in her apartment?
She has offered to help me. I understand what it sounds like. She has, from the very beginning of a relationship, one of the reasons that I have felt so comfortable in this relationship with her is she made me feel I didn't need to do everything on my own. And so I never felt uncomfortable asking her for help. It's only in recent times that she's let me know how bad the finances are. She keeps things from me and she blocks me out.
I'm about to find out because I want to get to this $672.
Right. One day, she was texting me and she was begging and promising me that she'll pay me back. She said she needs $672 because her lights are about to get cut off and her phone is about to get cut off.
Those are the utilities that she says she pays.
That's her responsibility. Yes,
Absolutely.
I'm already covering the rent, you know. So I was like, you need to be a little bit more financially stable, but I got you. This is my first relationship with a woman, and I just thought it was my job to take the provider's role, you know, maybe as the man. So I was like, okay.
You're not the man, you are just the partner. Please stop doing this gender role stuff that's happening. You don't have to do all of that. You just need to be you and then come up with what works for your family.
So we was laying in the bed and she started like cramping really bad. So she goes to the bathroom. I go and check on her because she's in like so much pain. I found her like kneeled over and she was heavily bleeding. So we go to the hospital and the doctor comes in and let us know that she is having a miscarriage. Now, I don't know, I'm a woman, I don't think I can get anybody pregnant, but so I gave her the money. She took the money and she supposedly put it on some of the bills, but then that same weekend, she's out of town with her friends partying. She gave me $90 of the $672 and that's it.
Okay, Ms. Franklin, now that doesn't make sense.
She is blowing it out of proportion and she's incorrect. She says
wrong.
that, oh, you're irresponsible, all this, but she was a very much like, don't worry about it, babe. I got you. Very much like that.
Ms.
I was
Williams,
putting myself down.
You submitted text messages. Yes. I'd like to see what you're talking about. Babe, I really need you They're about to cut off my lights. It's $600. I swear I'll get it back. This is getting ridiculous, like I'm working 3 jobs. So she did tell you that this was tough. She did. You just lied to me. I mean, sincerely, you just looked me in the face and lied to me.
Yeah,
I don't know what you do with her, but you just lied to me.
This was only a couple months ago.
I don't care. You just said to me that she did not tell you that there was a problem.
That's what she does. That's what she do.
This is getting ridiculous, like I'm working 3 jobs. That tells me right there, oh no, I got a problem with this. So you lied to me. I'm gonna tell you, when somebody lies to me one time, I don't trust them. That may work when you scamming her, but that don't work when you scamming me. That don't work with me. Go ahead, Miss Williams.
Okay. Altogether, I paid around maybe $1,700 a month just for her bills.
You're going to have to get up off the floor, Miss Doormat. Stop it. That's it. I'm not painting a clown face on you. No.
I also work. I buy food and cook and clean and put in for this house as well.
Why does she need to take care of you? You're a grown woman.
I never said that she needs to take care of me. She offers to help me. She makes me feel comfortable to ask her.
Well,
that's one of the strong points about our relationship.
Am I correct? You can't do it anymore, Miss Williams.
That's right, and it's not the problem of helping you, but your priorities are 100% off, wrong. Because if I'm helping you and then you're going out to party, that doesn't make me feel good about myself.
You say it's a party. It wasn't no party. It was literally a visit with
drinking.
A friend.
It's a party.
A minimum amount of money.
You can use that same money and put it towards your bills and give me a break.
She can say it better than I can, because I understand that it really makes somebody feel used. Am I correct, Ms.
Yes.
And I understand that the financial irresponsibility, which, by the way, is significant, is coupled with your questions about her honesty in your intimate relationships.
Right.
What happened?
So I thought we was good. It's the first time we didn't fight. You know, she was cooking, cleaning, we was watching movies, and so we was laying in the bed and she started like cramping really bad. And I thought, you know, girl thing, Miss Recycle. So she goes to the bathroom. I go and check on her because she's in like so much pain. I found her like kneeled over and she was heavily bleeding. So we go to the hospital and the doctor comes in and let us know that she is having a miscarriage. Now, I don't know. I'm a woman. I don't think I can get anybody pregnant. But, yeah, she was having a miscarriage. I just took my keys and I went and sat in the car until she got done.
Ooh, that hurts my heart. So now I understand why you walked in here, Miss Williams, and said, it's enough already. Ms. Franklin, you have said you've apologized, but I don't know how you apologize for that.
Ain't no coming back.
How do you say to Miss Williams, you can trust me again?
I definitely am. I'm so sorry for what happened. I never planned on that. I never planned on being a mother until I got with her. And yes, a few months ago, I had hooked up with someone. We were in a fight. She had walked out, like, shut down on me like she always does. Whenever we fight about something, she wants to walk out the door. It makes me very... let me talk.
Go ahead, let her talk. Let her talk.
I'm listening.
We can hear the bullshit about to come out her mouth.
That is the truth.
All she do is cry and play victim.
Shut down.
Girl, bye.
She shut down
Ms. Franklin,
on me.
tell me,
and I did go hook up with someone.
Tell them why. Go ahead.
Ms. Franklin, I want to hear.
I did hook up with someone. I did, and we were good. I literally forgot about this person. I moved on. It wasn't something continuous. It was one night, and I never thought about it again. And she walked out, and she left me.
Your Honor, not only did she
I have felt like she left me at one of the hardest times I've ever had in my whole entire life.
You can't play victim right now. Sorry.
Thank you.
You cannot play victim right now. Don't do it.
Thank you.
Do not do it. Do not do it. I'm not going to let you do that. That's not fair. That's not fair. I understand that you had a miscarriage. I understand that's a devastating and horrible thing for a woman. I understand that. But you cannot manipulate the situation on this right now. You must take accountability for your choices. What were you going to say to your fiancé when you popped up pregnant?
No, let me tell you what she said. She was like, we're already thinking about adopting our nephew. How about we find a sperm donor? This was before we found out she was pregnant. So now I see why you wanted to find a sperm donor.
I did not know I was pregnant.
What in
I did not know I was
sorry.
pregnant.
I need a minute.
Not only did you disrespect yourself, you disrespect me too. It's cool.
Okay, I'm back. I need a minute because I thought I had seen using. I thought I'd seen manipulating. I thought I'd seen cheating. But situational sexuality while you are being a user, cheater, scammer, manipulator, that's new. That's new for me. How do you come back from that?
I don't know.
However way
possible.
No, it's not however way possible, because I was waiting to hear you tell me what you were prepared to do.
I will do anything. I'm prepared to admit that I have cheated, that I have lied, and that I did use her financially. Wow. I want to change.
Wow.
I'm prepared to admit that I done that, and I want to make a change for her.
I want my ring back. I'm good. I'm done.
Corey?
Find somebody else to walk over. Thank you, love.
Choices have consequences. And you've made some of the poorest choices I've seen in a long time. But I am going to say to you, Miss Williams, you are not blameless here. You cannot be a doormat unless you lay on the floor.
I know, yep.
And I'm not having you do that anymore. It's enough already.
Thank you.
And trust me, there's a woman out there that can earn your trust. There is. There's somebody who's going to love you and be a true partner and a friend and won't use you. And it's just not Miss Franklin.
Yep.
My suggestion is you go back to your apartment. Thank God she has a place to go to, but you're going to have to find a way to pay for it. Because something tells me Miss Williams is done being a piggy bank.
Bye.
That's my verdict.
Good luck paying your bills, honey.
I'll be fine.
Sure you are.
Don't you worry.
You're gonna find your next
I'll
victim.
find my next person.
You're gonna find your next
who's
victim.
better than you.
Ain't nobody better than me. You.
Definitely better than you.
Yeah.
I got better.
Good luck.
I've had better and I'll get better.
Whatever.
Yep. Know it. Believe it.
User, bro.